Hi guys and welcome back. Today finally I'm going to plant my tomatoes in my brand new raised bed, and along the way I'm going to give you a few tips what to add to your soil when you're planting your tomatoes so you can grow big, healthy and delicious tomatoes. The first thing I'm going to do, however, is get my dirt moistened a little bit because it's way too dry. And I'm gonna use just the water from the hose, from the side of the house. And if you live in a hot place like me, like Arizona, it's April 13th here and it's about 90 degrees outside. Anyway, especially if you're gonna water your plants, let that water run for a while because right now it's just as hot as tap water. And just about right. Alright, that should be just about enough. And when I come back, we're gonna plant our tomatoes. Alright guys, here you can see how I spaced my garden. I put little marks where my tomatoes are going to be. I'm gonna have 6 of them and they're going to be about 20 inches apart. I'm gonna let them grow up, not spread out, so that should be plenty of room for them to grow. Alright, I'll be right back with my tomatoes. The first thing I'm going to do is determine how deep I want to bury my tomato plants. And I want to bury them deep because during monsoon season here in late summer we get really strong winds. Preferably, I would like to bury them at least a few inches above the current soil line. Next, I'm going to dig the hole for my new tomato plant. One way to check if the hole is deep enough is to take your tomato plant with the cup and put it in the hole. So this one is just about right, but before I plant my tomato plant, I will be adding a few goodies to the soil. The first thing I'm adding is Epsom salt that I bought from Walgreens, and it's not expensive. This big bag, it's only about $7 or $8. The benefits are many. It increases your plant's ability to absorb nutrients from the soil. It prevents the transplant shock. It also prevents the yellowing and the curling of the leaves of your plant. It keeps the pests away and it helps your plant grow sweeter and tastier fruit. That's why it's good every 2 weeks to sprinkle about 1 tablespoon around your plant and then water it to assure higher production of larger and tastier fruit. The next thing I'm going to add is azomate or rock dust, and it's great for your fruit because it's organic and it contains over 67 trace minerals. And just like the Epsom salt, it increases the size and production of your fruit and it helps fight disease. And unlike other fertilizer, azomate won't burn or harm your plants. So I mix 1 tablespoon per hole and I mix it with the soil and the Epsom salt. The azomate costs $44 for a 44-pound bag, which is more than enough for home gardening and it should last you for years. Another ingredient I add to my planting hoe is Dr. Earth organic fertilizer. And the reason I chose this one is because number 1, it's organic, and number 2, it has high amounts of phosphorus, which will be very beneficial to my pepper and tomato plants once they start blooming. So I will put 1 handful into my planting hole and mix it with the rock dust and the Epsom salt. Another thing I add to my planting hole is my homemade organic eggshell and banana peel fertilizer, which provides extra potassium and calcium to my plant. And potassium is important because it helps the plants develop a strong root system. Calcium prevents blossom end rot, which is the browning at the bottom of the fruit. And now the fun part. I'm gonna take my tomato plant out of the cup for the first time. So I watered them this morning. I will massage it gently to make sure that the roots are separated from the cup and I don't damage them while I'm taking them out. Because tomato plants are gonna grow roots out of the little fuzzes along the stem of the plant, I'm gonna pinch a few of the leaves and bury my plant deep. The reason I'm pinching the leaves is so they don't rot underground and develop disease. I will pinch all the leaves that are going to be underground and also those that can possibly touch the soil above ground. Then I'm going to take the plant, put it between my fingers, flip it over and take it out. And look at these roots. So I'm gonna spread them out just a little bit, just to let them know that now they're gonna have way more room to grow and absorb all the goodies I just added to the soil. So I'm gonna place it into the hole very carefully, make sure it's straight. And one last thing I'm going to add is baby aspirin. The main reason I'm adding aspirin to my plants is to protect them against soil-borne disease and also against extreme heat, which we will get here in about a month or so. So what I would do is put one baby aspirin in a tablespoon and then crush it with another spoon and just gently sprinkle it around the roots of the plant. Next, I'm gonna add the extra soil to my planting hole around my tomato plant and press it nice and gently to make sure that there are no air pockets left around the roots of the tomato. As you can see, this leaf is touching the soil, so I'm gonna pinch it off just to protect my plant and make sure that if there are any soil-borne diseases, they don't get on my tomato plant. Now, I'm gonna stop the camera and I'm gonna repeat the same process with the rest of my tomato plants. So I will see you guys in just a few minutes. The next thing I'm gonna plant in my new raised bed is my pepper plants and one jalapeno pepper. I'm gonna repeat the same process as I did with the tomatoes. I'm gonna dig the hole, except I'm not gonna bury the pepper plants more than they are buried right now. And I'm gonna add the Epsom salt, the calcium, the crushed eggshells and banana peels for the potassium, the rock dust and the Dr. Earth fertilizer. I'm gonna dig the holes and I'm gonna start planting my pepper plants. I will see you guys in a bit.